Hello, everyone. Cindy Drozda here, and I am live at SWAT. And there, that's better. I'm live at SWAT, and I am doing a little walk around the vendor showcase booths at the trade show. Let me get my back camera. So here is my booth here, and let's just take a little tour of what I have. I've got some chisels, and I'm hoping you can hear me okay here. Let's get. I don't know if you can now. I'm not getting that done. Okay. This is my booth at the trade show. I've got a micro light here, and this is my big deal for the show here. Is I've got a screen, and I'm offering a show special of a discount on my next demo. So what I'm doing is showing my demo videos on the screen here. I've got a bunch of pieces that are an example of what you can make if you watch my demos, my live IRDs. There's the QR code. And vendor showcase is what we're all about here. I'm going to go on over to the other vendor showcase booths here, and we'll just take a little walk around the trade show and go over to see Todd's booth here. And on my way over there we are. Okay, this is much better. Okay, on my way over there, I'm going right past Doug Thompson. And what we're going to do is come back after I visit the vendor showcase team, and we're going to talk to some other vendors. That was Vince Welsh, and there's some other vendors here. And so we're going on over to Todd, and there is Todd. He's in the stream now, and he's in the other room here. Through the door. The instant gallery is right next to his booth, so let's just let Todd take it away.
Well, thank you. Sorry, I got to back up a little bit. Taking frame. We got a few people at the booth, but I'm in the corner of the McClellan Hall, and in front of our booth here. Let me turn the camera around, and we'll take a look at what we got here. So, let's see, front camera, back camera. There we go, and here is Miss Rebecca DeGroot. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
How are you doing? You can see what's happening down here. So, yep.
Is this live?
This is live on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Oh, a little kick of the podium. And I'm going to show around the booth a little bit here. So over here, you'll meet my wife, Shelly, Mary, and Cheryl. We're on live on YouTube. Say hi.
It's just tiny, but
yeah.
So right behind
you show on mute. That'd be great.
Banner on the end.
I'm going to start on the easel.
Cindy?
And I'm going to talk about my code.
Go on mute.
Okay. I have it written down.
Go tell Cindy go on mute. Where is she? She's over at Joe's booth. So here we have woodcut true grind system. It's on my grinder here. We've got my little lathe set up here. We're doing a little bit of demonstration in the booth. I even got my camera set up to look at that. Then we come down here. We got the Max 4, the new Max 4 bowl saver thing. We've got some other tools. We got the Proform tools, some other cutters, the Shear scraper, iron Shear scraper, what do you call it? The Pro Mount carving stand. Then we got Todd Rain's tools down here, Elio drives, and modular handle system. Our toolbars for the hook tool, my half-round bar for the teardrop cutters. And then over here we got Jimmy Clues stuff. We've got all the mate tools here. You can't see them back there. They're kind of blending into the background. And then all of the adapters. We're running low already. It's good news. Cindy Drozda's lights and the DMT hones. We got eye gauging, measuring stuff, and all across here. And this is the biggest seller, the outside caliper. So that's our booth in a nutshell. And we're going to wander over. Oops, I keep kicking the podium. I'm sorry about that, folks. And so there's the rest of the booths down that way. And then down this way, we are going to see Robust there. There's the instant gallery. And then we're going to go around the corner and we'll see Cindy getting set up to talk to Joe. So I'll add her in the stream. There is Joe, and Joe and Cindy are going to take over.
Hi, everybody. Joe Fleming here from Airbrushing Wood. There's my banner. I'm part of the vendor showcase. Here's all 6 of us here. And just to let you know that I do all things airbrushing, so if you're interested in that, I can help you out. But know that I am a wood turner who airbrushes. I'm not just an airbrush guy. For everybody that's online, come over here. I have this discount code set up on my website right now, and you can use that to get the same $30 off that customers here get for the show, for airbrush starter kits. So you can put that in and you get the same deal. If you come over here on the table, start off with the airbrushes. I carry basically 2 different airbrushes. I carry a tritium airbrush, which is a pistol grip, and I carry a traditional style airbrush called a Genesis.
Let me get a little closer here.
All right. So you can get an idea of the 2 styles. There's a lot of variations, but think of those as the items. And then I have, these are the show prices that you would get basically if you buy it with the code. But it includes, if you get a starter kit, it includes the airbrush, a hose, a quick connect, a compressor or a regulator, depending on what you buy. This is the kit. Yep, it has all the parts that you would get, and then a compressor or a regulator, depending on which version you buy. And it gets you going for everything you need to get going, including a really nice set of paint and some airbrush cleaner.
So what else have you got over here, Joe?
Okay, let's go back here to the corner. Not often, but once in a while, I'm able to get a hold of some used equipment. The last month has been very opportunistic for me. I've got 3 used compressors here for $150 each. Regular price is $220 online. And I have a couple airbrushes back here. I have 2 of the pistol grip ones for $150 instead of $200, and 1 of the Genesis brushes right now for $130 instead of $130 or $168. If you're interested in those, you need to contact me directly. Those aren't listed online. They're only here. So for what it's worth, I also have all the paints here if you're interested, and the paint reducer that I recommend for the Grix paints as well. I'm going to come back here to the front for a minute.
Okay. So about that used equipment, Joe, if somebody wants to buy one of the used ones,
email me or call me. My information's on the website, airbrushingwood.com.
Okay.
And we'll talk directly. And if you want it, we can do the deal online and set it aside, and we'll get it shipped off to you when I get back to San Diego.
Okay. And by the way, if you're on the stream here with us, you can type in your comment and we see it. So we'll answer your questions or address your comments.
Okay, and then the other thing I do carry is the Grix Air Tools. I normally have 4. One of them is sold out. I don't have any of the random orbital sanders, but I do have the right angle die grinder here that takes any 1/4-inch shank tool. You can use carving tools. You can use sanding mandrels, whatever. A traditional straight die grinder with a 1/4-inch shank. And then this is a carving tool. It's actually their grinder, but I have it set up to use the carving disc that you can buy from, say, Sabertooth, which I also sell. A really great little handy thing if you're into carving at all and texturing your work. So I have that. Here's the burrs that I carry as far as what you can buy from me as well. And then the last thing I want to show you back here in the back is...
I want to see some of this work here.
Oh, let's talk about that. This is all my work, all done with an airbrush. I teach a lot, and the mountain piece that you see here in the front is one I use in teaching. That's why you see many versions of that here, because they're all demonstrations or teaching, and it's a really good project for teaching. But there's die work here with hand carving, like on the feathers here and the feathers on the other side
Love
of the
those
table.
feathers.
There's birds of paradise back there, even just playing with shading and coloring in the back, trying to show somebody what you could do with an airbrush. A lot of different things.
Yeah, cool work. I love it.
Mike Jokowski is a hollow turner that you may be familiar with. And he's dealing with a health issue for a while. He's back. So he's trying to get back in the swing of things. But he has his own line of tools that he sells at craft supplies, primarily or directly from him. He asked me if I would rep his tools here at the show. I said, sure. So I have most of his tools here if you're interested.
If you got a second, Joe, we've got a question
Oh, sure.
from Rex about what air pressure do you need for the carving tool?
The carving tool is specified at 8 cubic feet per minute. I run mine at 90 psi. If you have a compressor my compressor is half that big. I can only do about 4.5 cubic feet per minute, and I can run the carver for 15 minutes nonstop before the tank runs out of air.
Oh, let's see Joe here. There's Joe.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's talking. So back to Mike Jokowski's stuff here.
Right. So he has his original tools over here, the Hollow Pro tools, the straight, and the bent shank. He considers.
Get a close up.
Yeah, he considers those the really good starter tools, and would recommend those if you've never done hollowing before. They use the ring cutters, if you will, not the ring cutters, the cup cutters. These are made by Mike Hunter for Mike Jokowski. He's got his Rocket Pro large tools. These are new this summer. He's got his small Rocket Pro tools here, and he just introduced this tool here, which is the long sweeping bend here with the hollowed out sides to make it really easy to get into a narrow opening.
Oh yeah. Pretty good.
So he calls that his favorite tool now.
And these are
all the different cutters you
cutters
can
that
put
you can
onto
get.
these tools, right?
Okay.
And then he has his calipers here that he designed, a small and a large. It basically works by gapping it here, and then when you see the size here, that tells you what the gap is.
Very nice. Yep.
So they work great. They're made in San Diego by a local machinist that works for Mike. And then finally, he has his video here. It's a great video. I own this one myself. Walks you through the whole hollowing process and considerations. It's a great tool if you're interested in learning about hollow forms. So anyway, those are available. I don't have any the show specials. I don't have those online. Like I said, I'm not a dealer, so I'm not on my website with those. Contact Mike directly if you want to buy them from him.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe.
Thanks for coming. I hope you guys have a good time watching the show here. Cindy's going to walk over here and talk to John Jordan.
Okay, very good. Where did Todd go? Is he over there?
Yeah, he's over there.
I'm over at Miles.
Okay, this looks like John Jordan's booth here. And here's the man himself.
Greetings, wood turners. I'm John. I'm part of the vendor showcase with my other buds here, and I assume you guys probably know about it since you're watching this. But if you don't, we get together a few times a year and do some online demos and collaborations and questions and answers, and just generally having a little bit of fun.
And he's part of Vendor Showcase. You can see our Vendor Showcase banner over here. Right over there.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Very good, John. So what have you got here today?
So I've been a wood turner for a long time, and I got into the tool business because I couldn't find tools for my students when I would teach. And so I took the tools that I made for doing my hollow pieces that I had made myself, and I started making them available then for sale. But that's so we can get inside here, and that's my primary tool business. This is probably the fundamental tool, is my number one hook tool, which allows you to get inside these pieces. The way this works is the tip is on the center line of the shaft of the tool. So as long as you have the tool rest behind the hook, there's no twist or torque on this thing when you use it.
Yeah, and that works really well too.
Yeah,
like
they work great, and if you see, they're very slim here. the minimal amount of metal, so this will reach in a very, very small hole and get just inside that opening. So they're shaped up nice. The tips are easily removed. They have a little set screw there, so they'll come out for sharpening.
And take note, folks, the set screw is on the bottom, which is genius because it doesn't fill up with chips.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's a good point.
John's
The cutters are inexpensive. They're easy to sharpen and inexpensive. And if you sharpen them, most of you have CBN wheels these days. If you have a good setup for sharpening, the little cutters will last a long time. But they're cheap when you're ready to replace them. I have a sharpening jig here. I don't have a. I should have put a cutter in one of them, but it works like the very grind jig for your bowl gouge, and you just slip the little cutter in there. There are several methods you can use to sharpen those cutters, and if you look at my website, johnjordanwoodturning.com, there's some little videos on various ways to sharpen these cutters. When I started doing little cutters, I would just hold them in my hand and sharpen. So this is a small 3/8 set. These are good for Christmas ornaments and tiny hollow pieces. And then I have a mid-size tool as well.
There's a straight one of that same.
That's right there. Yeah. Have a straight one. And then this is the mid-size. These are 1/2 inch diameter shafts, and they're good for pieces up to 5 or 6 inches, something like that. And then the full-size tools. These you can get up to probably 12 inches or so, depending on your patience and your lightness of touch.
So if anyone's got a question for John, here James is saying, hi, John. If anyone's got a question for John, type it in the chat for us, and we'll ask him.
Best. That's right.
Okay.
We have some various sorts of tool handles, and all of my tools and handles and things are interchangeable. So any size will fit any of the length of tool handles. They have bushings in the end, so they'll hold 3/8, 1/2 inch, 5/8, 3/4, and I even sometimes make custom inserts for people if they have a little different size tool. I can make a custom insert for that. So all of these things you can kind of mix and match and switch around. I do sell gouges. I have Doug Thompson makes bowl gouges for me in a couple of sizes, and a little detail gouge for me that's short. I like a little short.
You have the
detail
tip of those gouges there. Okay. So we've got a question here from Scott Hampton. What size is the bar on the large hollowing tool?
They're 3/4 of an inch.
Okay, 3/4 of an inch. Very good. And sharpening the cutters, do you put a burr on the cutter?
Well,
do you want a burr?
Yes, the burr is what actually does the cutting. They are just little scraper tips. And so, the burr is doing the cutting. And what I normally recommend is I start with a grinder burr to do the initial hollowing, and I always put a fresh grinder burr on for the finish cuts. In between, you can either go to the grinder, or you can use a little slipstone or one of your little diamond paddles or something to raise a burr like that. The trouble with using slipstones and diamonds and things like that is ultimately you end up kind of rounding that edge over. And so I like the grinder burrs to start and to finish. Yeah.
Okay, so what else have you got for us, John?
Well, we have probably my other tool that we sell a lot of is the double-ended shear scraper.
Okay.
Pretty proud of this. The reason I originally made this was so it has different ends, so you can go one direction and then you can flip it around and go the other direction on the outside of a hollow piece. The reason I originally did this was so I could slip that down in the handle, and I only had one tool to get on the airplane with instead of two.
Yeah.
And people liked it when they saw it and said you should make that. So we got set up and started making them, and
all made in the USA, right?
All made in the USA. That's exactly
Excellent.
right. And all of these tools, I make all of these tools myself, except for the bowl gouges.
Okay.
And all of these tools. Now I have the aluminum extruded, and then I do the machining and powder and take them for powder coat, and I do the grinding of the steel and shaping them up and stuff. Yep.
Cool.
So made right there in Cane Ridge, Tennessee.
Excellent.
But we
excellent.
sell a lot of these. It'll give you a nice smooth surface on your. It lets you do subtle shaping of the piece, and it makes it quite smooth, so you don't have to do much sanding. And then
Very
I have
good.
various other things. We have a nice video on the aesthetics and properties of wood. Also, you can go to my website. A lot of articles. There's several articles about wood and hollow turning and little short videos on sharpening and raising burrs and doing all that kind of stuff. And then also, I'm a robust lathe dealer.
Oh boy.
I have several American Beauties in stock right now. You could be turning this time next week.
Very good.
Just get in touch, and we'll
Okay,
get it
cool.
on its way to you.
So talk to John if you want to buy a lathe. He's the man.
All right. Well, it's
All right.
it's good to see you from here in Texas. I got my jacket on. It's freezing in the convention center here, although
Yeah.
it's hot outside. So
Hot and humid outside, cold on the inside.
hope to see all of you somewhere. Get in
Okay.
touch if I can help you.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put. We're gonna say goodbye to John, and we're gonna put Todd on, and he is at Lyle Jameson's booth.
Girl.
Let's
Yeah.
put
Hey.
Lyle
One
in
second,
there
one second.
too.
Yeah. 1 second. I'm just gonna move John from the screen.
Can you hear me to bring me up?
Lyle here. Mike OB here. So Lyle, I was just gonna introduce a few things here, and if you want to talk through it, or do you want Mike to walk through the demo?
I've got it set up here, Todd, if you can get to me.
Oh, do you want to go big?
Please.
All right. There you
There
go.
we are. We're on. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, I guess I can explain a little bit here why I'm not in my booth. I had a personal event come up. This is the first SWAT that I've missed in more than 3 decades, so sorry about that. But I'm there in spirit. My booth is there with my stepson Mike is taking care of business for us, and got all kinds of tools on display and sales going and so forth. So visit his booth if you're going to come to SWAT. For those that are just virtually, I'm set up here so that my hollowing system is on my lathe. I've got the handle and the backrest prevents any torquing and stabilizes everything with the captured system. The laser does the measuring for me and takes all the work away from any measuring. The boring bar has 3 different reach capabilities that gets into any shape that you want, all with one boring bar. So you don't need to buy a whole bunch of different boring bars. There's 2 misconceptions of hollowing. One is that it takes a long time to learn how to do it, and 2, that you have to work hard and hang on to a handle and sit on the lathe and beat your body up. So with this, I'm just going to use my fingertips, and you see I'm going to be making shavings here and not sawdust. And it's really easy. A 10-year-old kid can do this. No big deal. There's no moving parts. There's no pinch points or anything. So as John mentioned, my tools also are made here in USA, and the Swivel Assembly is one of the critical points of mine that has an infinite range of motion to move the cutter inside the vessel as you're working on it. So little things like that makes it real versatile, so that I can do any shape that I want. The lasers, I guess I can put the laser on a second, and you can see the laser shows me when we're hidden inside with a small mouth opening, we can't see what's going on in there. So the laser helps us measure the wall. You can see as a dot on there, it shows you where you're at and shows the shape on the inside of the hollow form, because we're blind in there without the laser. And then when the laser drops off and shines on the bed of the lathe, I've set that so that there's a gap. And when that gap is reached, the laser disappears off the vessel and shines on the bed. So it shows us where we're at, shows us the depth of our vessel and the inside shape. Even if I was this young stud and didn't care about beating up my body, I'd have a captured system just because of the laser. So that's what we have in our booth, and in a lot of other little accessories. So glad to participate with the vendor showcase and the SWAT people. They put on a really, really good show. I think the best in the country. So glad that I could help be there. You might want to take a trip, Cindy, down around the booth there with Mike and just see what's on display. But
Yeah, we can do that, Lyle. It's Todd here. I'm here with Mike. If you want us to do that, let's just leave you in the stream, but we'll just switch you over there. Is that all right? And
that'd be great. He's got a lathe there too that you can take a little test drive.
Yeah, let's let Mike kind of explain the booth setup here for you.
Yeah. Hey, everybody on YouTube. Make sure to follow everybody in the vendor showcase on YouTube. They'd love to have your follows on YouTube and learn all about it. But if you're at SWAT, you can come down, test drive the hollowing system. If you're not at SWAT, definitely check out Lyle's YouTube videos. He's got over 200 YouTube videos on hollowing and everything else.
You want to show a little bit here on this one?
Yeah, it's not much different than what he was doing, but we're just letting people come down and just do some simple hollowing. It's just that easy. Fingertip control. Don't have to work. Doesn't have to be difficult.
Look at that. Simple.
Simple and easy. One-handed. Eat lunch with the other hand.
On a nice little jet mini lathe. So, I mean, that's perfect, right?
You don't need a
Great
big
little
robust. You don't need a huge lathe to be able to hollow.
And then you've got the laser setup.
Laser system.
Yep. So that's a nice laser arm. I like the adjustability on that. It's so simple.
One-handed.
Yep.
Makes it simple to be able to set the measurement for the wall.
Yep. And can we pull that back just to see how that extension plate is working on there? So even for a mini lathe,
short bed lathe,
you can
so
extend it way out.
Base. If you have a full-size lathe, it's be about half that size. But we have all the attachments here in Waco and at home to ship out that'll fit any lathe. So it's not limited.
Well done. You want to take us around the other side?
Kind of over here, we've got the giant system. If you want to go big, you've got to get big. So the deeper, the more strength you need. We've got a couple of Lyle's beautiful pieces, this beautiful hollow form that he did with the basic system. But heart-shaped bowl and another hollow form. And then we kind of go around.
All right, there's the vendor showcase flag banner. So there we are.
Look them all up on YouTube and hit that follow button. So here we have the 3 different boring bars for his packages, the 3 different reach capabilities, and the jumbo bar.
Cool, and they got the swivel assembly on
Swivel
them.
assembly, so you can hollow out any form that you can create.
Here's a good graphic image of how they kind of get set up in the bar and the different angles you can get at. Yeah.
So if you're out there in YouTube land and you need more instruction and you can't make it down here to SWAT, you can buy both his bowl basics and hollowing techniques, DVDs. Hours and hours of great instruction. So we've got some robust live center, another eucalyptus, I believe that was, hollow form that he did with the
I love that one. That's beautiful.
We've got some of Cindy's lights. Go Cindy. Always using those are great when you're hollowing. They're just a invaluable tool. We've got the Carbide Cutters, especially Jameson Carbide Cutter Assembly that comes with the Master's package. Gives you a cleaner surface, easier to cut, don't have to sharpen. Lots of benefits to that.
Yeah, that's the most popular package. I've got that one myself.
Absolutely.
Oh, look at them all lined up there, folks. All those
plenty of them in
swivel
stock
assemblies,
and plenty of them at home to ship out to anybody that's interested in them.
Yeah,
So-
this is what I need to get. It's one of those. So
You could take one.
look at that. The camera
Giveaway.
operator gets it.
But this is a 1/2-inch boring bar that we also offer with Lyle's system if you want to go into small hole for Christmas ornaments, that kind of thing.
Nice. Uses the same swivel assembly.
No, it does not use the swivel assembly because the swivel assembly is 3/4 of an inch wide.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a 1/2-inch boring bar, so it's just going to use the cutter in it.
Okay, just the cutter. Excellent. And set screwed into the cutter.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
Nice. More wrenches. And
Wrenches, tools, the
Some-
John Jordan jig we sell here because we use the high-speed steel cutters. All sharpening stuff. Very important,
Individual little.
repeatable, easy to do for sharpening all of your tools. Another beautiful piece that Lyle's done.
Yep.
One of my favorites is the next piece, the mantle power that he did.
Oh, that is nice. That's nice. Yeah, beautiful.
And then one of our other favorites is going to be Jameson bowl gouge with the Thompson handle.
Oh, nice. Yep.
So if you watch any of his YouTube videos or his DVDs, you'll see the benefits of having the 60-degree grind, the steel, the handle, everything that goes with it, as well as a tool rest for the hollowing system.
Yep. Look at that. All signed by Lyle. Excellent.
One by one.
And there's his famous body form. I don't know. What does he call that one?
You'd have to ask Lyle.
Lyle, what do you call that sculpture? Do you have a name for it?
What was the question, Todd?
What do you call the sculpture?
They're just figurative torsos.
Figurative torsos.
They all have their own independent names, but yeah, the general series is just a torso series. Yep.
Nice.
Perfect. And if you come down to SWAT, we're doing a giveaway of both of his DVDs. All you have to do is sign up on our list, and you could get both of his DVDs for free.
Mike, great stuff. Thanks very
Appreciate
much.
it.
I appreciate it.
Nice
And
seeing you all. Thanks
Lyle?
for tuning in.
Yeah, excellent job. Excellent
Thank
stuff.
you.
So, there we at. I'm going to set this up here, Cindy, if you want to hop in front with me. And Mike, and maybe we'll just do a little.
Okay, I'm going to take me out of the stream then.
Yeah.
Do a little conga line or kicks.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Yes, we got
Yes.
four of us here, and Joe and John are obviously behind us, and Steve Wisher couldn't make it. So I don't know if you can hear us well because the mic is about 8 feet away now. But thanks for. Oh yeah, put that one on. Yeah, we'll turn this one off.
Can't hear you. Your mic's not on.
There we go.
Okay.
Now your
Now we
mic's
can-
on.
Let's start all over.
Start.
Now we can hear you.
All right. Just going to turn the speaker down on that one.
Okay.
So there we go. Now we're sorry. We got four of us here anyway. We got Lyle's representative here at the booth, and obviously Lyle's on the stream.
There we go.
Yeah, and then myself and Cindy. We're missing Joe and John. They're behind us in their booth, and then Steve Worcester couldn't be here. So that's the vendor showcase crew. Thank you all for joining. Do you have any questions up there, Cindy?
Well, let's see. Oh, Dr. Bob has been using Lyle's cutter head for years, and that's very, very cool. Thank you, Bob. Hello from a lot of people. Our good friend Chaim and Scott and Roy, Charlie. Nice to see y'all here.
That's great. We had, 40 some odd people on the stream today. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Yeah. And should we leave it there?
I guess it's over and out. You know, we got to get back to our booths
Yeah.
because
They're letting out for lunch.
this is a hot show this year. So I hope you'll come next year.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.